A very lovely morning to you once again. Welcome to this very program, Good Governance Ministry, coming your way live on Advert 99.1 FM. Opposed to this lovely Monday morning. Today is the 8th day in the month of February in the year 2021. Is 5 minutes down the hour of 11. My name is Tony Olisambeki, the Honorable Speaker. In the studio this morning with me is Mr. Chinedu Peter Asses. It's my pleasure to welcome you, Mr. Chinedu Peter Asses.
Good morning to you, our listeners, and to you, Tony.
You're welcome. Remember, during this period, each time we're on this very program, Good Governance Ministry, we now look at good governance in every ramification, in every aspect, in every dimension, in every angle. We try to dissect certain issues we have as far as this state, this country, nationally, internationally, as far as these things are concerned, and we try to peruse it and see what we can make out of it. You're welcome this morning. And remember, last week we started by asking, if you do not know them, do not vote them. That was the slogan last week, and we looked at it from the point of view of PRM, their yardstick, their appraisal. You know, when they want to appraise somebody to know if the person is really qualified, if somebody is really a candidate, has he these qualities, these potential, these capacities to deliver if elected as the governor, the president, or as a member of the State House or National Assembly, as the case may be. We have in view last week, we are looking at the Anambra State gubernatorial election. That's what we had in view last week, and we're going to still return that. If you do not know them, do not vote for them. There are many people jostling for that position. Agric, jostling, many of them have been doing one thing or the other to market themselves before the public. They try to sell their candidacy to the people, try to say the roadmap, the blueprint, and the manifesto they think they have to develop the state. But the PRM, they are saying that those things are not enough. There are other things that must be checked. Those things must be put under proper check. Let me quickly put this question to Shinedu, because we started by talking about these qualities, capacities, these appraisal points and all that. Can you quickly help us to refresh these points that a candidate of a political party must possess before it's being considered suitable for the office of the governor of Anambra State? Let's get that from you, Chinedu.
Okay, generally speaking, I'm just going to summarize them because we have 10 points there which we read last week, and for want of time, because we're expecting some of these people to come in through via calls to tell us who they are and what they are up to. You see, Tony, you can agree with me that many times, many people who vote for people, they don't even know them properly. They don't know their background. And growing up as a child, having interest in political activities, I studied the Europeans, the Westerners, where we copy this system of governance. They go down to understand who you are. They go down to your history. They harvest whatever kind of life you've lived and the kind of person, and that is what molds a person's personality. That person cannot be different from whom he is all these years. Now, we are using this program to bring the aspirants that wants to come and serve us, because what we've been having are political rulers. We now want political servants, because they are meant to be public servants. But we need to know, who are these servants? What are you? If you want to bring in somebody called Biology boy, background ya ebosi onezuori onemaka ntutu onasi asi kedu ode mmadu obu oboye na achuso okwu oboye na agba na rula omentete ke ode mmadu oboye na agba mbo oboye ife mmadu na emetuta na aru iwe na nesive di na ewesi nwa ya bụ ezigbo mmadu na ejusiga ajuju ebe ọ na ejula ajuju na ọ bụ ezigbo mmadu ọbụla onye nsogbu na ọbịa ịbịa serve oge ọbịa lụlụ golu na oge eme ofuma etu aka anyị si wee na-eme na this program. This is what we're doing. We are here to appraise whoever that aspire to come and serve us, and the criteria will ke leadership quality inwe, ke quality inwe to inspire the people, so that people can have confidence in you. Ke the kind of life you go before, it may be extravagant life, or no ya benye the resources of our state or squander anya in frivolities while on bad Is that the kind of people we want? So by the time this program is meant to give our people the opportunity so that we'll be able to know whom these people are, and that's why we target. If we don't know them, we will not vote. So now we'll give them the opportunity. Because ndị otimkpu emebigolo anyị ife n'obodo a rinne ojebego akụlụba ndị na-agagharị up and down mana amara onye obi ya amara background onye a na-ekwu maka ya. Now anyị ebidogo with ndị otimkpuva ọ ndị na-akwadova ndị na-asị na onye anwa bụ ezigbo mmadụ, ndị a na-akpọ marketers n'ọnụ oyibo. Ma ọ bụrụ product ka ị na-ele, ị na-market product, ị amanụ product ị na-ele nụnụ mali ọfụma na ihe agwa na anyị kedu ive elele a ga-elite na product anụnwa ị na-market line. Oya ka anyị na-asị the people who are promoting some of these aspirants, hey, bidogo everywhere. Some of them are kwago uniform, some of them have sewn different kinds of uniform that are going to different places and marketing these people. We want to bring them here because we are the voice of the people, and Odenigbo is the center of this voice for Ndibo because we are coming from our homeland, good, beginning with Anambra state. Tata anyị na-anya ndị otu be Ezemo kafa bịa gwa anyị, come can tell us, because he has been on the running sheets anytime azọkwala election. All the oke mkpa I say okay, ọ bụ na ha nwee mmasị a na-ege program a steady, and many other people who are aspiring are also listening to this program, waiting for their turn to be scrutinized by the people. So the people, get ready for your questions. Onwe ihe chọrọ eju, onwe ihe chọrọ ịma about a particular candidate after election this year in Anambra. Bịaba ebe anụwa every Monday 11 to 12. So all to aka yesu emiata.
All right, apart from that, there are other political platforms here on Odenigbo 99.1 FM. We posted that we can also use this rhythm. We have Straight Talk, we have Budumuranya, we have so many of them, and then we can also use these very platforms to ace rhythm. And just like you said, we are looking at other ways through which people who would want to serve the public, looking at their capacities, looking at what they have in store, and then we look at just like we have here the kind of leadership qualities in the public or private sectors, and then the capacity to attract local and international funding, and then communications. Let's quickly have somebody on the line, because definitely we join through the phone lines. They are not here and they would not appear here in person. We have somebody from Ezemo political class, just like we said. Let's really, maybe he will introduce himself, and then we get on the one, ask necessary questions, and then we want everybody because where the good morning. Let's quickly know who is on the line. Good morning. You're welcome.
My name is Chukwebuka Kinsili, as a representative of Ezemo Media Team.
Okay, you're a representative. Okay, now let's quickly ask you one or two questions, and then that will be followed by questions in the Madoga Jogi. You on the line, and then let's quickly see, because you are representing Ezemo. There's no doubt this is not the first time he has thrown a shot in becoming the governor of Anambra State. This is not the second time. Probably this may be the third time. Why does he want to become? Why does he want to throw himself in the race? Why?
Ezemo as a person is somebody that is passionate about changing the happenings in our state. He's so passionate about our state that he wants the life of our citizens to change for the best. Looking at what is happening in our society, he desires a change that will benefit the citizens more.
All right.
That is the main reason.
All right, that's the main reason. Can't he engender this change in other ways? Must he be a governor to bring about this change?
He mustn't be a governor to engender these changes. He's already bringing the changes to his primary home. If you go to his place, as he's from Umuchu, if you go to Umuchu today, he's bringing in the change in his own immediate community. His people are experiencing the kind of change he so much desires, and he believes that with that he can change Anambra by being the governor. All
right, apart from Umuchi's hometown, what about his own local government area, and then the Aguata region? Because I know he's from that very region. So what about it? What has he done that would want and make anybody to in Anya line here? So no, I have to give follow no onya de pan ko obife ane kuka neme.
Yes, Ezemo as a person in Advert where he's from. He has made a lot of changes and is still impacting more on the lives of Agwata people. When you go to places like Ezira, Amaisi, Oga, in fact, no village or community within Agwata zone can tell you that they don't know the name Ezemo for what he has done for them.
All right. And then the question now I want to ask you, do you think apart from, because we understand he's an entrepreneur, he's an industrialist, and then you ask yourself this question, what has an industrialist got to do with governance? Because governance and then someone being an industrialist, there are two different things. Can he combine the two? Has he held any kind of position that would display his capacity as an administrator and somebody who can do well in governance?
Yes. As an industrialist, he is. When you talk of governance, you bring about practical experience. You know, being in the field is different from governing outside from outside the field. Ezemo as a person, onye muchukobo, onye Igbo, Bologna industrialist. He has held so many positions, but not politically. At least his various firms that runs across the globe, he is doing very well. He can bring about those changes he wishes for. When he becomes the governor, using his practical experience from his own industrial field.
Okay. All right. Remember, if you are listening to us anywhere in the world, you can join the program by logging on to www.onlineradio.boss.com/ng/Odenibo 991 You can join us anywhere in the world. We have a representative of Ezemo in the line, and we
Hello?
go on with question. Chinedu, I don't know if you have any question to ask.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tony,
Hello?
and the guest here with us via phone call. Um, you've talked about Ezimo. Our people would like to know his background, where he's coming from, how he emerged or got successful in his line of endeavor. Can you give us a briefing about his background?
Yes, I can do that.
Please give us a very brief summary.
Okay, his full name is Mr. Godwin Chupunenye Ezemo. And as we already know, he's a native of Umochu in Agwata local government area. His parents are Nzeomako Godwin Ezemo and Lolo Awesi Charity Ezemo. He grew up, he was born in the 50s and has lived a life of humility with dedication to duty and attended St. Thomas Anglican Primary School, Umochu, before proceeding to St. Peter's Secondary School, Achina, where he graduated. In the 70s, he had the opportunity to teach in secondary school as a teacher. That is where he started his first, or had his first experience to public and community service. During that time, he was paid about 100 Naira as his salary before he proceeded to study marketing at Federal Polytechnic, Ilara, Ogun State, where he obtained his HND certificate. From there, he went to Aba and was introduced to the freight forwarding business, where he later became an operator in the field and grew as a sole proprietor to becoming one of the country's top freight forwarders before he ventured into residential and commercial real estate and other small and medium scale enterprises. And from his due to his quest for further exposure and desire to increase his knowledge, he moved to United Kingdom with his family, where he left a successful business to start up a new life in United Kingdom. In his entrepreneurial spirit and broad business acumen, it led him to a new business opportunity in the United Kingdom, where he established businesses with links to America, China, and other African countries. He spent about 2 decades abroad, where he was awakened by the burning desire to replicate his achievements abroad in his motherland, Nigeria, Anambra State to be precise, and returned home in the year 2012, moving the headquarters of his businesses to Umuchu, Agwata, and he has remained in the state ever since then.
Okay.
That's
All right.
All right.
All right. I think we are going to take questions from our listening audience. You are still there. If you would want to ask him question, the representative of Eze Mabudi Choleju Ajujubiko, you can call our studio lines and we can take questions from you. And then it's still online. Everything is online.
Yeah.
You know, you joined us via the phone lines, and then we want questions to come out via the phone lines. And then we have other questions. Many people are calling already to ask questions. So you have to really make it brief. Do not ask a very, very long question so that we can really wrap up everything. And then we have got a background. We have also got why he wants to
Right.
be in the governor of Anambra State, and then what have you. Let's take this question. Good morning. You're welcome. We're taking question. Hello. Good morning. Hello. Are you there? All right, not you. We have somebody on the line, so we would want to take that question and then we see how we go from there. Good morning.
Morning, my speaker.
You're welcome.
Kingsley, I'm calling from a post.
Yeah, welcome. Ask a question, Kinsley.
Because my question goes to the president of Israel. Because eventually, if Israel will Messi become the governor of Anambra State, Sundays in that Aguata area, fire pass the commissioners. See what is happening now, and the problem in the commissioner is also in the transport sector. So I'm my friend go with as a transporter. So all the moment governor Anambra State. Wait for this kind of practice I'm in commissioning work. Thank you.
All right, I think a quick one. Do you have a response to that?
Question really about? I didn't get
His question ọ na-ajụ ajụjụ sị ma ekwe ka ezie ma ọ bụrụ na onwe ka ezie mosi wee bụrụ gọvanọ Anambra steeti ọ ga-eme onye ọbụla include ka ọ ghara isi nọọsọ ndị beva ọ bụrụzie gọvanọ ndị Agụata ma ndị Umuchu ọ bụ somebody ga include everybody when it comes to appointments and developmental strides.
Okay. To his question, the answer is very clear and simple. SMO is somebody that is people-oriented. His governance will bring about structural functionalism where everybody is included in governance.
All right, I want to ask you, don't you think that at his age, because you said he was born in 50s, don't you think that the state may need somebody who is more younger, energetic, whereby he can support anybody he sees as enterprising that can change the state without necessarily being on the hot seat? Don't you think that somebody, just like you said, during the internet was born in the 50s, that it will be important we have somebody who was born in the 70s to pilot the affairs of the state because he may have more energy ever than anybody who would be in or born in the 50s? What do you think?
From your question, it is clear that we are all advocating for youth and governance. But at the same time, we need to ask ourselves this question: are the youths really ready to bring about change in governance? I believe Ezemo, true, he was born in the 50s, but due to his practical experiences, I think we need somebody with experience and also people-oriented that will give the youth the platform to grow more so that they will be included in governance properly.
Okay, let me chip in something there. Let me ask you something. Now you say talking about having experience, somebody like Ezemo, and I want to ask you from his business endeavors, how has he been able to inspire young people and developed young people and transferred what he has into young people to become like him? How many of that? How far has he gone with that respect?
In that respect, Ezemo has achieved a lot in building the youth. I don't know how much you know Umuchu too well. That is why I'm citing Umuchu as an example. In Umuchu, where he's from, he has this innovation home where youths are trained with digital skills, equipped with digital skills for their improvement. And he has been doing that freely since 2011. You know? Youths that are from there, he also sponsors them to abroad for their education, where most of them are doing well abroad, and some that are back here are also doing well.
Okay.
All right, we have more questions on the line. Let's quickly take these questions. We want fundamental questions, not really all these political questions. Fundamental questions. Good morning. You are there. You have a question. All right, go on. Draw the jogi. Okay. Remember, I'm not on our studio. He joined us via the phone lines. You know, he's not in the studio with us. So, any of these representatives will always join us via the phone lines. They won't be here.
Yeah.
They won't be here physically. You know, if they want to come here physically, they may not come for a program of their own. You know, then. So, do you get the question? How the question is, how would he handle the issues of Hexmen, Marudin Hexmen? How would he handle such issue? Because it's become a boiling issue.
National issue.
Is a national issue.
Yeah.
Is he gonna be the type that will be trying to love the center more than he loves himself, or play what the governors are doing now, or probably take extraordinary measures to ensure that people are well protected? What would he do?
What is the position?
As a governor, one of the major duties of the governor is the safeguarding of lives and properties of each citizen. And I believe that Ezemo, if he becomes governor today, he will not joke with the life and properties of the citizens and indigent people living in Anambra State. And for that, I believe he will take measures to ensure that the lives and properties of citizens are safeguarded, and he will make it a priority.
Okay, he's gonna make it a priority. How would he make it what would he do exactly?
Would he do exactly?
Not making it a priority. Anybody can make anything a priority. So what would he do? How would he go about it? He's not here, but we believe you are speaking his mind. He must have discussed this,
of course,
with you, or probably.
We have been talking about open grazing, ending open grazing, and all the rest of them. What will he do?
What will he do
outside what the governors are doing now?
I'm not going to priority on your even there they are low look at priority.
From what I will say, Ezemo will ban open grazing. You know, all over the world, open grazing is no longer in vain. Today we have ranching, and I believe as a governor, he will be a person that sees agriculture as a means of survival in our state. He will venture into ranching so that anybody that is grazing will have to move his cattle to the ranch where they can be able to be monitored. You know, when they move their cattle to the ranch, they will be monitored and their activities will also be monitored. So I believe he will do that. At the same time, he will also synergize with all security service in the state to ensure cohesion and also adopt the best practices in securing lives and property.
Okay. All right. So he's talking about banning open grazing, that is going to ensure that it comes on board. But the question now is, because we have a number of things to look at, we have many questions coming. Let's take one from the listening audience. Yep. Your question, your name and your question, please go on. Your name and your question. Arinze Gabaniru.
With my observation, onye na-azọ ife a abịara mana anyị ayọ oge elubenyabịa ka anyị na-ajụ direct. Onye a bụ ife agbalị
ya. Everything was
stage by stage.
Yes. So, one bụ na ọzọ gị and anyị amarọ pati nke ubu apụta kịta ka ọ ghara ịbụkwa like onye na-anọchite anyị a na-ajụ kedu pati o si apụta ka ọ ghara ịbụ at the end of the day ojekwe bute ofu pati ka ọ bụrụ na-eso azọ ya kaba arụ ọ bụrụ na ọ na-azọ ife anya kwudosie ike amalụ nke ọ na-azọ ọ bụ na ndị mmadụ laikiri ya kpatụrụ ya amegidere pati nke abalị ojeburu ofu pati pụta ọzọ bụ ajụ nwere eju ya bụ ego niile ọ ya fụga na oge niile ọ zọgoro ife a kedu ebe o yi esi gbachie ego a ka ọ ghalụkwa ịbụ ọba na gọọmenti ụdị ndị eze ndị anyị na-abụtụlie ọ bụkwala ego ọha na eze kama prezidenti ya na-achị Naijiria kịta anyị mụgboro ọne ọzọ ngwa ọ banyegwu ebe ahụ ya na fight corruption ma feme ego ka ọ na-eje ebikọsi everywhere has in a government, you have the rock cost. Because nobody talk about China. So, never able to see where what you go. No, no, I never play. Thank you very much.
Darine, I think you got the question.
Yes, I got the question.
Right, let's take on that.
I will take the first question, which he said political party Ezemo senior pota. Godwin Chukwu Ezemo is coming out for the post of governorship under the platform of People's Democratic Party, PDP. Then secondly, on the issue of where he's going to get finances to ensure that Anambra Edeborego, one of the most agenda of governance is the diversification of the economy. And the first place he wishes to divert to is agricultural sector. You know, today, agriculture has moved from the normal subsistence farming to mechanized system of farming. Ezemo, as an industrialist, he has been in that agricultural field, and his companies are also doing well in that same field. He wished to divert into agriculture. I believe that from when we invest in the agricultural sector with this mechanized system of modern practices, we are going to generate enough funds that will help in piloting the affairs of Anambra State. At the same time, under that same agriculture, we are having a major in Anambra State today. We are having a problem with the storage system of facilities. We also wish to divert to agriculture and provide that efficient storage system. From there, we'll be generating money. And also, going into food processing. In Anambra today, I believe, and we all know that you hardly see a company that has ventured into food processing. And it's a very large or big sector that cannot be undermined. So by going into that field, money will be generated. At the same time, we also have plans for innovation hubs, startup hubs and labs that will equip the youth of our society to have a skill that will help them grow. Those innovation hubs will also generate money and skills for Anambra.
All right.
There's one thing very important that we want to highlight, coming from the question the last caller asked, concerning coming from different political parties in the past. You know, he has contested under PPA, if I'm not mistaken, and under different political parties, and now on PDP. Some people are reserved with the fact that when politicians are desperate to become a particular to occupy a particular political position, how do you clear that he remained is the problem from the political ideology of different parties he has contested, or he himself do not align with their own political ideology? So why would he always move from one political party in order to contest for that? And that's exactly what the person...
Why, simply put, why did he leave PPA down to PDP?
Yeah.
Okay. As we all know, in Anambra State here, there are only 3 major political platforms which our people are more conversant with, which are...
Are you there?
We can't hear you.
Are you still there? Oh, I don't know if you are still there. But then he was actually trying to talk about the 3 major
political
dominating political platforms. You understand me? So, or the Marine and that maybe there could be, but he's gonna come back. If you're joining us, this is Good Governance Ministry, and this program is sponsored by BVI. Remember, this is not a campaign time. Exactly. It is not a campaign time. We are just asking questions to know those who would want to do one thing or the other, those who say that they would want to govern the state. Who are these people?
They are coming to serve us.
We want to know. So it's not about campaign. But if you watch some of the questions as you go so far, Kerebosi, Onyebeko, Kerifo Megolafra, Kedro Ode all good. You understand me? So it has not degenerated into full campaign because campaigns are banned for now. Nobody should take us to that area. No, the campaigns are banned because by the time INEC opens the window for campaign, we then look into it. It's important. Let's quickly continue because we know he's back, and then to continue from where he stopped. We lost you on that phone, and we lost you on that jury lines. Are you back? We are welcome. It's good to have you back. Now, why did he leave PPA to PDP?
Yep.
He left PPA to PDP because of party ideology.
Do you think there is any political party in Nigeria that has an ideology? But you are saying he left because of party ideology. Which of these ideologies? Because we don't know of any ideology, any political party. Parades.
He left because of party ideology, like I said. Every party has its own ideology. In
Nigeria or elsewhere?
Okay, just tell us the particular ideology that made him move. Okay. And what ideology had attracted him in PDP? That made him choose PDP.
Okay.
The ideology that made him to leave PPA is first, no structure or being on ground. At the same time, the party members or hierarchy was not in good terms with one another. They were only there for the money.
Don't you think that this has to do with attitude of some individuals, not ideology? Because when we talk about political party ideology, we're looking at most times their policies to better the lives of the people. Some will tell you we will do a lot through conservatism, where you try to make sure that taxes are not well overpaid.
That's socialist.
We have a number of these ideologies where we make sure that rural communities are well developed. We make sure that the people are not overtaxed. We make sure that people through developmental projects. These are particular ideologies, and these things have been tested and trusted over time. It's not something somebody come and preach. I have this ideology to make sure that people would not pay so much tax, but they will get value for whatever tax. That's just a preaching. Ideology is something that have been tried
and tested,
and then people have seen it.
This is what we know you for,
and this is what the party is known for, because that's why we say there is no political party in Nigeria that has any ideology. And maybe when you say he left because of ideology of PDP, we ask, what is that ideology? And then you are saying because of the attitude of some people. I think you are looking at it from the attitude of a political party, not necessarily their ideology.
There's members of the political party even.
Yes.
Okay. Let's say I'm looking at it from the political behavior of the party PPA.
Okay.
Let us put it the way that he left because of the PPA's political behavior, and aligned with the PDP because he thinks that his interest will be more protected in the party PDP, and also he believes that is where his ideology will be achieved.
Is it about his own personal interest or public interest?
Public interest.
So what are those public interests that he's going to bring in terms of ideology, going by the PDP background?
The interest that he's going to bring in, or ideology is going to bring in, first will focus more on agriculture, education, and security. These are the first three places that he's going to focus on. On agriculture, I've given you a brief, I've earlier given a brief explanation on his plans for agriculture. Like you said, that PDP or no party in Nigeria has an ideology. SMO has a plan of changing that thought that no party has ideology in Anambra State, like we all know.
Can he do it just one man? Because party is a conglomeration of many people, and
with different interests,
with different political interests. And then if he tries to do one thing or the other, he may be brought down.
So how is he going to handle that?
every individual member of a party has their own interest. And I believe that the reason why we have political party is that most of these interests are accommodated and also protected. Now, he can do that by aligning with every one of them. When he comes to the board, he will table his own interests and also align with all of them because their interests are also public interests. You know, he has public interest. A lot of those members has public interest. And he can also convince others that has their personal interest, their personal interest might intrude on that other people's interest.
Okay. So now, because we know there are many political jobbers and many political brokers, and then just as one has asked this question, how would he recoup the money if he voted? Because he must have spent a deluge. But the point now is, because we've known him as an industrialist, you said he's going to bring up that developmental change needed in the state. You said he has the capacity, being an industrialist who has been working on the field, who is more practically oriented, practically inclined. You said because of that, he's going to do that. Does he know the needs of the people of the state? What do you think he knows about the needs? And if you think he knows, what are these needs?
He knows the needs of Anambra people. And from the needs of Anambra people needs a society, a conducive environment. First, they need a conducive environment where businesses can thrive well. Two, they need infrastructural development. Three, a society where everybody is secured, where nobody has to have this fear in mind that something might happen to him or her once he is outside his or her residence.
Do you think, because many people may even think behind this there are other needs, like because,
Yes.
but then maybe by the time we bring him in person, some other times either this program or other programs, probably there are some questions he would attend, because as a representative you will talk as much as you know about what he thinks over certain issues. Now, people have said there are a lot of factors working against him. Can you really count or see any factor working against him?
For now, I don't see any factor that is working against him. The first thing I'm going to say about these factors is that when we talk about factors, there are no factors for me. The only factor that people can point at is that other candidates are coming out from their various political zones or senatorial zones. And I know that we also know that the ticket is going south.
Okay.
When the ticket goes south, who now is the best candidate? Ezemo is a two-party man. He knows what he wants for the society and the people of Anambra State.
Okay, one thing I want to ask you, my brother, what will happen if he ventures, maybe he didn't clinch on it? Will he support whoever that emerged from that party as a party man? And again, what is appraisal of the current government in terms of education, infrastructure, and the rest of them? And what is he going to do differently in terms of his own ideology in transforming the state?
Okay. If eventually the ticket goes south and is not opportune to get the ticket, he will support the person that gets the ticket. That's the true party man's ideology, and that's his ideology.
I want to ask you, why is it that his voice is not heard so loud in certain national issues?
Yeah.
We have had a number of national issues in the case of IPOP and the federal government, in the case of Ohanese and the federal government, in the case of restructuring, in the case of marginalization of the eastern part of the country, in the case of performance as you may call it, of the present APC government and also African government in the state. Why is it that his voice is not heard so loud, even when he owns a media outfit, both print and broadcast media?
His voice is heard. In all these national issues that you just mentioned, he all made press release on that. Let's say that the reason why it is not so loud was, let's say it is on the part of the media house that they didn't disseminate the information very well. They didn't share it across all platforms very well. But Ezemo has been making press releases on all the...
Don't you think it's more convenient to sit down in your house and make press release and then that's all? But then it is even more like a stronger approach when you go to seminars,
strong advocates.
You go out in the streets, in the marketplaces, you meet people in occasions, in gatherings, you make your voice heard. Before bishop, before traditional rulers, amongst the creme de la creme in the society, you try to say that this should be this. You don't mind committing anything, even in your life, to ensure that that is done, than sitting down and make a press release.
Exactly.
Okay. From what you said, he does all this. I will tell you that all the programs of Ohanes and Libo and the ADR, they are colonial initiatives in the southeastern region. He has been the one hosting it for the past 3 years. So when I say that he makes releases on these issues, and it's also in the field, that goes out in the field to say that this is what he desires for an Igbo on issues of marginalization and all the rest.
All right, let's take.
Telling you this on the facts that I know.
All right, let's take questions from our listening audience. Make it brief. Once you come online, you call your name. Iwanya fagi your question. Bike wunoge. Good morning. Ewunoge. Iwanya fagi. Iwanya. Joa Jugirada. Kirayna nobo. Somebody na nobo.
Hello. Good morning.
Darwin morning.
Dalo one.
Darwin.
Ajụjụ nwere ike ịjụ abụ kedu ife ọ na-akwadobe ime ka ndị Anambra steeti nwee ezigbo ụzọ ka n'ụzọ niile dị Anambra steeti o mebichara emebi ndị dị mgbe iri ọrịa. Ọzọ ajụjụ na-ajụ ya kedu ife ọ na-akwadobe maka mmiri ọṅụṅụ Anambra steeti inwe mmiri ọṅụṅụ. Mmiri ọṅụṅụ na-egbu akwụkwọ m mmiri a na-agbapụ agbapụ n'ọtapụ ịgba na Anambra steeti onye ọbụla enwe mmiri.
All right. We've taken the questions piecemeal, one after the other. It just how you need just one can do so. Phone line. On ya going here. Good morning. Darwin Kerikime. Upu opuna kusi opu don't sound too relaxed. Yeah, welcome.
Thank you very much. In as much as I was just joining the program, but I'm a normal crazy him. My honorable speaker, every morning I wear my law. Oh no, I do to now. Oh, I didn't go about national issues. I'm not there for president. We are talking about Anambra State as in the state issues.
Jojo, we want your question. Yeah.
Somebody who is interested in being on that particular seat. You are that. I thought I may criticize the wrong things and the men of this state. So
like what?
If I again,
because I'm a rich man.
Can do if each and all they criticize
for money or something else. So more I tell you, that's why in Cabrera Is it for power or not just go down with it one more? And how sure more than a PDP in your ticket? That is my question.
Darine, let's go back to the representative.
Yes.
All right, well, let's take on these questions. I think that will be the last questions before we do other things.
Okay. I'm going to start with the first question. On your say, the plan is for Uzo na million. The first question go roads. Like I said before now, SMO is somebody, and one of his plans is somebody that is interested in changing the lives of Anambra. And like I told you earlier, he will do that by bringing in infrastructural development that is geared toward obtaining or attaining the best standards for Uzo.
But you are moving towards the campaign aspect of it, which we wouldn't want to go into.
Yes.
You are moving towards the campaign aspect of it because we know campaigns are not open. Remember,
we're not talking about that.
We're not talking about these. Has he a working document? Has he a working document?
A blueprint somewhere.
Yeah?
Yes, he has a blueprint.
Who authored the blueprint? Who wrote it for him?
The people that wrote it for him is he did the production in his media house.
Okay. Yes. So who wrote? Okay, his media team wrote his working document for him.
Or is he the initiator of that working document?
He is the initiator, not the media team.
Okay, the initiator. And then he sat down and wrote it, or he was asking them write this thing for me.
He sat down and wrote it himself.
He sat down and wrote it himself. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay. Do you have something for him?
I mean, what does he? Where does he see the state? Most times I've listened to him many times. One would also ask, does he love this state to the extent that he can lay down his life for the state?
Ezemo is so passionate about Anambra State, and he will do his best to make sure that Anambra is the best.
Okay.
No, wait, let me ask you one vital question, just quite personal. Please tell us and all our listeners your age bracket. Is it in 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 90s?
His own or
you or the person calling, the person on the line.
My
your own.
age,
yes. What's your age bracket? Are you in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, or 60s?
Late 20s.
What? Mid what?
Late 20s.
Okay, late 20s. Okay.
All right, I don't know.
All
but
right,
I think that will be much from you now. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you so much for your time. And then remember, this idea is just to X-ray who these people are, not necessarily for us to ask. Many people were so impatient asking, Ogemekwanka, that's for campaign. When the campaigns come, you start asking, we are looking at the fundamentals, his qualification, his perception, his knowledge about public policies, his acceptance. You understand me? Some of the things he has been able to do in the past, his capacities, his potentials, these are some of the fundamentals we are looking at, not necessarily how to fix this, how to fix that. Time for that one will still come. And I remember he has been a way of trying to relate who these people are. Remember the slogan last week, if you do not know them, do not think of voting on them, maybe voting them for anything. Do not think of that. And most times we are looking at ensuring that the right people are actually in the right positions, right pegs in the right holes as well. To avoid having the wrong pegs in the wrong holes. But all the same, let's quickly wrap up because we have looked at this very person. Considering what the PRM, the yardstick, because if you go back to the yardstick, you have a number of things PRM outlined. I'm asking you, Chinedu Peter asks us, going by the yardstick, we are not going to make judgment. The judgment to be left for you.
For the people.
Because the people determines everything. Because we've looked at the communication skills is one of the yardstick, and the knowledge of public policies and then issue of knowledge of economic and political structure of the country. Because if you do not understand these things, definitely you have issues with them.
Exactly.
And you may get into the wrong advisors, and you may find yourself on the wrong side of it.
Yeah.
And then, just like we discussed, ability to think outside the box. Allocation, local government funds is interested in it. State government fund is interested in it. Man, you cannot in any way think outside the box to make something from what the state has, the potential the state has, or even attract foreign investors or foreign direct investment.
Exactly.
Free
money.
The reason I am about the reason are the local government elections.
Of course, now
because of the local government getting money. So it's a practice in Anambra State. Many governors the guilty of getting the same thing.
Of course, yeah,
the guilty. All of them are guilty. Don't say onyanka, because if I had a trouble that local government funds, because somebody take caretaker about no what fund ever. Yet a long go about on just it's on just sign Yota go on you but elected chairman there.
On way independent
this thing, but all the same, man. When the campaigns begin, I'm all their plans for local government election and other things in the state. Somebody and other the needs of the state, and then when you ask somebody to do the need of the state, that person is very technical. It's not what you think. It's not what you may easily answer. It's something you have to think, and then it's a way of knowing if you understand the pulse. The pulse of the people in the state. If you understand it, if you can feel it, if you cannot feel it, you wouldn't know their needs. You may think, if I need a bunker, I am needing car, and when many needs, but then when the core needs, actually call you on, it will really agenda transformation and all that. We have a
if enjoy what our listeners, Mandina na internet you go kundi odenibo, Mandina via the radio, Mandina na YouTube platform. BVI Channel 1, but you'll be the one to draw up your own conclusion. I am your own opinion on your bunka monkozo. And in a way to appraise them and see the scoreboard, we've developed a pool on our website, bvichannel1.com. You go there and other social media platforms. That's why it's very important you follow us there, and you see the appraisal of some of these people, their performance, and how people vote for them online. That's what we call opinion pool. So you can go there and and also remember to join PRM, which is the mobilizing body trying to organize the people. It is now between the people and those that want to serve them. Now you join PRM by calling 0810-420-7522, or you call 080-6098-2212, or you search me personally on Facebook or social media platform Asuzu Chinedu Peters. I'm the voice of the people and the voice of God. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. That's much we're going to take this very Monday. Thank you so much. My name is Tony Lisenbeki, and up next will be news at 12. And when we come back, other programs like Nawa and then Ife Pepakulu, all of them will take effect later on. Do have a wonderful day.
Boys to the turn up, they wait for them and come. After rock, no be for punch up, and if they cannot rule, then they make the back up. Because I want to know why these matters arise.